Okay, so it's April 24th, 2019. It's what, Wednesday, and it is 2:39 p.m. And, okay, so this is for the field agents that I have had contact with, been dealing with. No, I'm not posting this at my other closed channel, just because of the dumb games that you all will play here, and I'm not interested. I will post at this channel, and I will leave this up for a week. Presumably, these people can keep anybody who is not a field agent from looking at the videos. That said, my channel's closed, so I don't see that there's an issue here. Yes, this is a, quote, violation of my own rules for this channel, but I got to play it safe, so I've got practical reasons for doing it this way. So, now, thanks to these agents here, Patsy and the Walnuts, as I call them, my brother got my YouTube channel, and they affected me into doing it, which field agents know, or at least you do now. And, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. They'll use alcohol as a cover story, which I find funny because it was early in the morning and I was drinking and my brother shows up. Always these amazing coincidences. For my brother, a little news flash for you. You should not be breaking the law at all, because these people keep an eye on and keep tabs on all family members. How did you think this shit works? So, congratulations on your tax violations. You need to start thinking about shit here instead of being stupid like Dad. So, if you want to know what's been going on for years on end here and how this all started, you can read my first book, and you can read the chapter all about this. Same thing for Dana. The comment I made with you back in 2016 is nothing new. That is actually in my book, and yes, they did affect me with you. The reason why they wanted that is they are taking these comments, they're quite literally, it's called scripting. They're scripting words out of my mouth. These are hit pieces. And then what they're doing is they're playing these for people like in the neighborhood here and lying about it. They're taking it out of context. You see this done with people all the time now at YouTube, and even people from the alternative media. And they create entire smear campaigns out of statements which are taken out of context to begin with. It's called lying. In my case, they literally affect me for getting statements they want so that they can lie about. And in regards to you, Dana, there's nothing new about what I said. So why did they have me state that? It is in my first book. Because these neighbors here do not have my first book. They're simply believing what they're told by the FBI, and oh, they've got a soundbite. And then they're believing everything from that soundbite, and the whole thing's taken out of context and lied about to begin with. They're not reading my first book. They don't know a damn thing about what's been going on. And therefore, they remain in the dark. They are worried about some people here on the street. As a point, there's a woman here whose son got accused of rape, by the way. Gee, imagine that. And he committed suicide. Imagine that, Dana. Sound familiar? So, and they've been worried about this shit. The reason why this has never gone to court is because their file, the real file, not the bullshit they've lied about, is in my first book, and it's in my chapter, which is all about this shit. They can't go to court. They cannot go to court. Furthermore, they've lied to different people in all sorts of different ways here. I was saying to Dad more than 20 years ago, Dawn had a post-traumatic flashback in the bedroom. I've got her on tape admitting that she's had more of these with other fucking boyfriends. She had to go to therapy for this shit. Isn't it a little bit odd that I was saying to the FBI years and years and years ago, ask Dawn, and, I started getting pissed off. Gee, I wonder what this is about. The FBI is not even double-checking or covering their bases. They knew what the truth was. And they deliberately had Dawn lie for them. And because of this pedophile cop, and because of the shooting outside of my window. And then, I take a look at one of the videos I posted recently. Fucking ambulance didn't show up for more than 10 minutes. The guy asked me on the phone, is the kid white or black? You do the fucking math on that. I was sitting on top of 2 cover-ups. And then you look at what's been done to my name here as a result of me knowing about these cover-ups. Take a look at, do a little research. Take a look at the government program of gang stalking itself. It's all about targeting whistleblowers. I said that one to Dad more than 20 years ago also. I'm a whistleblower. Except I didn't go to the newspapers. You know, looking back on it, I should have. Because then this shit wouldn't still be going on. And then, of course, I'm getting death threats. You know, I've got to take that seriously. So I'm covering a lot of points here so I can be finished with it. These dumbasses, they don't know what they're doing. I do. And yes, I'll be getting the field agents here, so stick around. I would say maybe you'll even learn something here. But, you know, as long as you're not using your own brains and you're going on somebody else's mistakes here, then I seriously doubt it. And usually I trust field agents more because you are in the field and you know that you pay for your fucking mistakes. You know you've got to be careful. But when it comes to this situation, you always go on the agents who are in charge of my life and know they've got technology and that's it, game over. This situation is about the CIA having gotten away with a cover-up with the fucking FBI. And yes, I will get into details here. And yes, strangely enough, I feel all weird right now. Very difficult to do this video. And this is just the first few minutes. But, you know, I will be getting into this. My original plan was, okay, well, I go free of this shit. And I have field agents for friends. And now I'm looking at this very differently. The next point is I'm looking at this as I'm looking at the mistakes of field agents and are they even worth the rat's ass. So as long as I get to do this video and don't have to keep redoing it or have to keep doing more because of problems here, then I should get all of my bases covered. I can put this behind me. And I'll tell you, here and now, and at the end of the video, I'll be parking my ass back with Horvat and her officers. So, I'm changing all sorts of things here. Because, man, you all are just, you all make the same mistakes over and over and over. And you'd be surprised, you should ask these agents here what a lot of the typical, stereotypical, I mean, my God, everybody, I've seen everybody from every fucking agency do this. But man, you all smoke your own bullshit and you believe just a lot of, you do. You believe your own bullshit in regards to all sorts of things. And you consistently make the same mistakes over and over and over. So, hey, maybe you learn something from this. On the other hand, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't even look at the video, right? You know, as a point, don't fly in March. Ask these agents about it. You know, I know a few things that field agents don't know about based on my circumstances. Airlines get targeted in March. And it has to do with this fucking technology in the first place. So there's one from me to you fucks. Yeah, I'll be getting into details here. Not in regards to that, but if you don't believe me, ask these agents. Now, of course, this whole situation has been predicted by these agents. Maybe they try and lie about this to people who are ignorant and, you know, people who have no idea how this shit really works, family members, you know, whoever, friends. But this was all predicted ahead of time, and of course, because I was going to start looking and checking on Alexia here at Twitter and Instagram, and, you know, so the whole thing's been predictable. On my end of things, I've been dealing with a lot of technology, and I just buckled down, and yes, I've dealt with all sorts of head fuckings here. And I figured I'll get to the bottom of things here sooner or later. You know, eventually I'll end up finding out. So for whatever reasons, the plug got pulled here, and I'm finding out about Alexia. Okay, it's all fake, it's all bullshit. And no, I'm not entirely surprised, not at all, actually. For me, the whole point was about finding out to begin with. And yeah, this shit could have been perpetuated for a long time, but in the end it would have fallen down anyhow. So, I don't know. What were the motivations of these agents here? I don't know, honestly. And not at the moment, I don't. I'll have to think about it. So I ignored a lot, and I figured, well, if I'm going to make a mistake here, then it's better that I do things my way here, which I did in one way. Yes, I had help here with technology, which, what do I say? Hang on. And yeah, there have been, just tons and tons of red flags. But in the end, I know, and I'm glad for it. So I'm glad I know what the truth is here with Alexia, and, it's all bullshit. And that gets me into a whole series of things here and points. Now, where do I start here? I will have to start with the cover-up. Hang on. So, I dealt with Horvat and her officers, and long story short, they were doing all sorts of unauthorized shit with this technology. There's no ands, if, or buts about it. For dumbasses like these agents here and dumbass field agents going on the mistakes of these people, oh, that's fantastic and incredible and hard to believe. Well, good for you. I guess that makes you geniuses, doesn't it? If you look at the hard-to-believe events, strangely enough, those came later, far, far later in my knowing Horvat and her officers, almost 10 years later. And strangely enough, the same year that I contacted German agencies. Yeah, that right there ought to be a red flag, but it isn't, because you keep believing the lies in the motherfucking file. That is your fucking mistake, not mine. I witnessed unauthorized murder, period, end of story. And for little snobby princesses as a point, with their nice little world here and their nice little Disneyland, and don't worry, I'll get to you, Alexia. Your little charmed life here. The shit you couldn't handle. And yes, I will be getting into, you were going to make me your sex slave with a head full of technology? Man, you're a shitbag. You are a shitbag. What about murder? Could you pull the trigger on somebody just like that? Most of you will only go where you're capable of going to begin with. They get killers to do the killing. They get assholes and pieces of shit to do the piece of shit stuff, like you, Alexia. And no, you can. And by the way, you and the field agents who've just been watching this all unfold all along the way here, you'll be like, haha, we knew it. No, you don't. You don't actually get where I'm coming from. I bet money on it. So, Horvat committed unauthorized murders with this technology. What if it had been a gun with a gun instead of this technology? Would that make it less hard to believe? I imagine it would. So you look at your own logic here. I'm talking about a whole team of agents and an agent in charge out of control with this technology. It is the CIA's worst nightmare. Quite frankly, it is any fucking agency's worst nightmare. I had journal entries. I put journal entries on cassette. Horvat stole and replaced the journals with fakes. Yes, these agents have real readings. Yes, like you, they are so stupid, they can't even believe the real readings. They write it off as, well, I believe it so strongly it registers as real and true. They're dumb. They're stupid as shit. And you're twice as stupid because you're going on their fucking mistakes. I'm making this video so that you can see and listen and take a look your damn self. And yes, I'm going to be getting into everybody's mistakes. So I had journal entries on cassette, though. Based on the nature of this technology, it came up with me and Horvat. Well, I've still got journal entries on cassette, so Horvat stole about 1,000 cassettes and hoped that she had gotten the copies of journal entries on cassette, but she fucked up. My best guess is she found a copy, and I imagine they poured through those cassettes to make sure that they had a copy, and never realizing that there was more than one copy. Oops. So, I end up with this person going by the name of LJ in Berlenbach. I end up leaving Horvat in 2014. I end up going back to Germany, to Berlenbach, and I end up with this prick, LJ. And I said, well, I've got a copy of those journal entries on cassette somewhere. And I just began listening to cassettes. I listened to about 200 before, guess what? I found a copy of journal entries on cassette. End of story. LJ apparently sold it as false hope and that I wanted to believe I had a copy of journal entries. And this is where field agents and these dumbasses have fucked up. But for field agents, you've fucked up twice. These agents have real readings, and they can't believe what they're getting, so they shit can it. They put their own spin on it. They put their own belief systems on it. It is no longer science. They have something which they've been sold in which they choose to believe rather than reality. And for these agents, it's always been, well, that's crazy what you're saying. Well, take a look. Why do you think it happened so late in the game with Horvat and her officers? LJ stole the cassette and then claimed it was false hope on my end. That is a total fucking lie. The Beikia took it out of my flat and they never even fucking listened to the cassette. And I know that because otherwise Germany would have been all over the CIA. That one is without argument as well. And I'm not guessing here. I fucking know it because this is all real and true to begin with. So, oops to Alexia and Dave and Holly-Ann and all you field agents out there and Anna and everybody else who has gone on the mistakes of these people. Is it possible for them to have technology on me and not know what the truth is? You bet your fucking ass. Have I ever gotten to do a video about any of this? Not at all. And no, this is not I'm having a meltdown because of the situation with Alexia. I feel good about how this has turned out. You know, it's better I know than I don't know. And you know, for you field agents, same shit that I deal with here with these agents. You'll be like, well, why are you responding to it? And, oh, look, it must be that it's true because you're responding to it. That's how a cheap, shallow asshole thinks. And that's you on the surface instead of scratching past that. These agents do it all the time, and they've got technology on me. Whoops. I state it because it's actually inaccurate if that's how you're thinking. That is why. So, LJ stole that cassette, sold it as false hope, and I know that because of what these agents brought up with me. They told me that he sold it as false hope, and they got a real reading to that. And I was just speechless and flabbergasted. There's absolutely no reality to that at all. Once again, they got a real technology reading. Once again, they shit-canned it. And then pissants who want to believe I'm a little kid with a mental disorder go on believing that. And because of these agents fucking up and being in denial to begin with. I call this agent Patsy because they didn't cover their ass to begin with. They should have bothered finding out my side of the story first before throwing everything away and throwing the towel in and just saying they know. And as field agents, I mean, Jesus Christ. My parents think you're all objective. Oh, you're agents? That's a bullshit card. There's been no objectivity here. I'll look up the fucking definition. Yet field agents are going on the mistakes of these fuckers. I call this woman Patsy for a motherfucking reason. So don't talk to me about objectivity. And then you people will say, well, you haven't been objective with these assholes. You bet your ass I haven't. Hey, man, it's been just absolutely nuts here. Nothing I say makes a shit of difference to these agents here. If they got real technology readings, it all gets shit canned. In regards to shit that they've been lied to about, in regards to my profile, same motherfucking thing. They never bothered finding out what my real profile is, which is just under the fucking surface. And then you're going on their fucking mistakes while you're smoking your shit and you think you're a bunch of big shits and claiming to be agents while you don't even practice being objective. These are the worst agents I've ever fucking dealt with. And another point, you can bet everything that Horvat and her officers would have covered their asses and they would have bothered finding out first before throwing the towel in and saying they fucking know. A little news flash for you. I don't give a shit what LJ said. He covered his fucking ass and was finding out. So kiss my ass. These agents are the worst. I've said it over and over. And I got field agents fucking up because of these agents. So you bet your ass I'm going. I will let FBI agents deal with this situation instead of these fucking sloppy, ignorant jackasses. They've performed as fucking amateurs. And, you know, Alexia and these agents laughing it up in the chat room, well, that's a laugh. I asked you, Alexia, do you even know these agents? You were mingling with Horvat and her officers. You were mingling with LJ. LJ sure as hell didn't let you in on the truth. Not the first time, at least. You know, the shit I will be looking at later. And Horvat and her officers sure as hell didn't let you in on the truth. Were you expecting them to tell you they're out of control with technology, committed unauthorized murders? You didn't even cover your fucking ass with them. I bet you didn't. So for any group agents down the road here, hey, I'd be more than happy to explain all sorts of shit to you. But if you're going to perform like these idiots, then we got nothing. I've been saying the whole time these agents have been lied to. They have yet to pick up on that slight detail. It has been nothing but a mess between me and these agents. This is the third time around with these jerks. And every time it's a fucking disaster. I don't even try with these agents. Just, oh, you want to believe this about me? Then have it. You know, keep your ignorance. I don't give a shit. For somebody with a brain, yeah, you can win the mother load here. But don't start shit-canning answers that you don't like. What you can do is you can start finding out how these agents fucked up. Period. I had enough of this goddamn arrogance from agents and agencies. Real cover-up going on by the CIA, period. And, you know, I was thinking I shit-canned the stalking here. I can be finished with it. And, you know, I need field agents for friends because the CIA will quite obviously look me up down the road here. Let me put it to you this way. I don't know what they're going to do. They will take as much information as they can get. That is what I would bet on. And I've got to cover my own fucking ass. But as long as field agents are believing I'm a delusional little kid with a mental disorder, it's false hope that I had a cassette that proved Horvat's guilty. It's false hope, LJ stole that cassette. Yet I know German agencies didn't even listen to the cassette. All false hope on my end. That's you taking a piss on me while you fuck up. And that's you not knowing my real fucking profile, just like these dumb assholes here. And this agent in charge goes, well, I've proved it. Looking at one side of the fence here, and I could say multiple things about how they've looked. Never mind them getting played and, me just shoving their own beliefs down their own fucking throat without even trying. With technology on me. Imagine that. Could you do that? Alexia? Dave? Anybody else here? You know, I had contact with one agent when I was with LJ before I met Alexia and Princess, and constantly attacked and affected with her, and I couldn't communicate jack shit. And in the file it obviously says, oh, well, he thinks we're keeping him from exposing us and that there's a cover-up going on, and, you know, he thinks there's a cover-up going on, and because we're doing it this way, it's to reinforce that with him. What a pile of shit. Why don't you use common sense? I witnessed unauthorized murder. I had journal entries which could prove it. I got affected so that nobody ever found out. Then the journals got stolen, but I had journal entries on cassette. I won the lotto. I still had one copy. You know, maybe I've got one still here in my parents' house. And LJ stole it. And the CIA began investigating Horvat and her officers. There's no Glasnost here. There's no Homeland Security. There is no, oh, well, we're going to share with the FBI. Once again, one more observation I've made based on fact. So when you're believing I didn't have a cassette that proved Horvat and her officers are guilty, you're believing it's false hope on my end, then you don't know my fucking profile. And it always comes back to that with these agents here. If you want to know how it is that these agents can have technology on me and not find out the truth, why don't you ask them, since they won't let me speak about this shit on video. So my original plan was to have field agents for friends, and after this shit with Alexia, fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. I'm back to where I was, and I'm going to get my life in order. The stalking ended, and I'm going to go park my ass with Horvat and her officers. I will be with them, and that's to cover my own ass. And LJ will just have to fuck off with this technology, and if he crosses the line, then we can start seeing what happens here. And I will already recommend, and this is for LJ, but you know what I'll be recommending? I'll be recommending to go on the warpath in the first place. I got a few special requests in regards to dumbasses. You people can't do your jobs. You're too busy laughing and smoking your own bullshit. Do you think you could witness a murder and be delusional about it? You never heard of cover-ups going on? You've never heard of corrupt agents? Too busy living in your little S&M Disneyland, pretending you're the best when you haven't even walked a fucking meter in my shoes? You don't even have the background in your life to be able to relate to me at all to begin with. Yet you know my psychology. And yes, I'm speaking to one person in particular, but I'm also speaking to everybody else. Why don't you ask these agents what I've said about their mistakes and what their mistakes are? And they'll only say, oh, look at how he's been tricked here and here. Nothing's changed. The whole thing is just slanted and sloppy and one-sided. You want to call that objective and truth? Knock yourself out, because most of you already have, if not all of you. So, for family and friends, they affected me into giving Alexia my home address and phone number. Kiss my ass. Affected me into giving my brother my YouTube channel. And what are these things about? Are we going to go to court? Okay. Let's see. Good. I've got a bunch of field agents here. Let's look up Michael Gates, graduated class of 86. You look up the town here. And there's a whole situation here, and he's a pedophile. So you should do your field work here. And hey, let's get a corrupt piece of shit pedophile cop, undercover cop. Let's get him arrested. We can go to court. Hey, I know about somebody from 911 who asked if the victim is white or black. There's an ambulance station only, not even 400 meters away. It took more than 10 minutes for the ambulance to get there. That one didn't get in the papers, even though I was speaking out about it. So I guess some field agents, Dave, Alexia, all the others here. I guess maybe we got some work to do here. Maybe you should explain to my brother and sister why I am in this stalking. Why don't you explain to them why nothing has been done to these people? A racist in the 911 services, contact 911 telephone services, cover up, and pedophile cop, undercover cop, cover up. And what came first, that or the accusations made against me? So why don't you explain that one to my brother and sister here, since you wanted my brother seeing my YouTube channel? Why don't you explain that one to my brother and my father and my sister? And the fact that I told my dad more than 20, back when this all started, that my ex had a post-traumatic flashback in the bedroom. Yet, strangely enough, the FBI never, ever questioned that. So why don't you all explain that one to my family here? And then, Alexia, you were going to go along? I mean, I considered that this might not be good, the situation with you and me, but that it would be this bad, and that you could be such a piece of shit. And then you were going to go along with them affecting me heavily with technology into being your fucking sex slave. And God only knows, fucking my ass, or God only knows what you would have been doing and getting your rocks off to. You were going to go along with that? Yeah, so I see you and I'm happier for it. And I'm glad I'm going to be going back to Horvat and her officers. So maybe if you haven't been let in on things here, I recommend you contact LJ and ask him if there's anything you should know. And me, Horvat, and our officers, I know what I recommend. I recommend we go on the warpath to begin with. No fear, and let's just find out what the CIA is made of here. Yeah. It's a good thing I'm delusional. Ask these agents here. Boy, they've been thorough. They've been really good proving their viewpoint. It's a good thing I'm not a witness to unauthorized murder. It's too bad, they didn't commit these murders with a gun instead of this technology. Because, boy, that would have made it more believable. But that you, Alexia, we're going to go along with this shit, knowing I'm going to have a head full of technology and you'd be doing all this shit, making me your sex slave, man, you are a piece of fucking shit. And you're only willing to go there based on who you are to begin with. So fuck you. That's my quote meltdown here. Fuck you. What a piece of shit. Does your quote girlfriend, does she even know who you are? Or is she a piece of shit like yourself? Yeah. So I'm going to end this stalking. I plan on being successful here. Yes, I'm going to get my ass back in really good shape. I biked 9 miles yesterday. Some really long hills. One hill is a mile long, about a mile long. And I'm going to get my ass back in good shape and be successful for my own safety and protection. And I'm going back to Horvat and her officers. And fuck field agents, because you're all stupid. Horvat and her officers were right. This whole shit with agents and agencies is a bunch of bullshit. Y'all smoke your own bullshit. I mean, the shit I can say. Ask these agents for a list of stereotypical mistakes made by agents and agencies. Since they won't let me remember a damn thing here. Ask them. Ask them. Because you're all guilty of these mistakes. So, while you all continue to laugh at me and believe I am not a witness, and that my having a cassette which proved Horvat's guilty is false hope, while you're busy taking a piss on me while you're fucking up, why don't you find out and get this list of basic mistakes that you all make so that you can improve and become better agents? Yeah, go to hell. And for Dana, David, anybody else, yes, there are fake video hits on my videos here at this YouTube channel. Yes, I will take this video down eventually. Yes, I will keep this channel alive. When I go free, I will just be doing videos here, same as always. And yes, I will continue to do it because I need to keep in practice, and I need to keep up with YouTube, and to keep my form and, habits here. So a few points here. How can they have this technology on me and not know what the truth is? By not scratching past the surface. The next point is it's obvious it seems obvious, I should say. I don't know, maybe I recontemplate this, relook at this, but, these agents, they don't ask any questions at all. They don't look at jack shit. If they're told to not look and to not find out, then by who? Did Horvat tell the truth about holding me and stalking back in Germany? And that was in year 1 with Horvat? It looks to me like she didn't. Is this about keeping the truth away from German agents and agencies? Well, I got news for you. Horvat did get away with a cover-up in regards to everybody. Except LJ, and because of that one cassette. If Horvat did tell the truth about holding me and stalking, well, then what do I say? German agents and agencies, they can keep their ignorance. They fucked up so much, they can kiss my ass on that point. So there's no threat or danger there. Not once I'm free from stalking. There's no threat at all. That's rather the point. I want to be living my life. I'm just going to park my ass with Horvat and her officers, and that will be my protection. The Germans never covered their own bases. They never covered their asses either. They did not interview me or my family, and they did not check by putting their technology on me and my family. That one is blatantly obvious as well, because if they had, they would be caught. Horvat and her officers would have been caught. How do I know that one? Again, how do I know? So, I want my freedom. Fuck the CIA and fuck their investigation of Horvat and her officers. Fuck field agents. And I am officially back with Horvat and her officers. Fuck all of you. I'd have to be an idiot. Just like I told these agents. I wouldn't walk in a dangerous neighborhood with these dumbasses. What about you, Alexia? You'd protect me in a dangerous neighborhood? You got superpowers because you're an agent? Man, fucking forget it. You stay in your little Disneyland. And again, I have to assume the worst with the CIA anyhow. So I'd have to be stupid to be trusting a CIA field agent at this point. So I'm glad things have worked out the way they have. And again, you can ask these agents for all the basics, which I'm sure they have not spoken about. And anybody believing these agents and think, well, that's it. That's the be-all and end-all. You can forget it. I'll be looking for a group of agents with brains, which, as I've said over and over, going to any other agents is a step up in terms of intelligence, not a step down. That field agents do not get how incompetent these agents are, that you do not get that they have not been objective. I mean, do you get a damn thing here? Are you just laughing it up with these agents while they have fucked up consistently? So that's it for me and field agents. I've got new plans now, and that's it for this video. You want to know a few things? You want to find out? Then ask these agents I deal with. End of story. You don't want to know? You don't want to ask? Well, that's a statement of you anyhow, isn't it? So that's it.